countdown to Thursday. The biggest test Team India will face this World Cup is up against Australia, playing the quarterfinals at the Motera Stadium in Ahmedabad. Lots of questions coming to our minds, to the fans also, and we have just the right person to answer all your queries and the voice Dhoni should listen to. We have Ravi Shastri joining us on this special show, Ask Ravi Live, where we are taking your queries, your questions live, and we have Ravi Shastri who joins us this evening to answer all the questions. Ravi, good evening. How are you doing?
Good. Very good. Thank you.
What do you think is the 5-point formula for Team India to go into this battlefield against Australia?
अरे क्यों 5 point करा रहे हो? Keep it simple. 1 or 2 points, good enough. Go, have the self-belief you showed in the game against the West Indies. Back your strengths. Keep things simple. The roles for the players have to be identified, and I'm sure when they play at this level, they all know that now. And you know what your role is. Try and deliver. And the bottom line for me is play hard at the top, because Australia will come hard at you with their pace attack, and India has got enough firepower at the top to counter-attack them, and that should be a thrilling sight.
There's no doubt Australia will come hard at India as well. Are you happy with the playing 11? Obviously, barring the fact that Viru was sitting out in the previous game, what would be your ideal playing 11 up against Australia?
And just to add to that, Ragini, two spinners. Two spinners should play, all the time. So in that 5-point, whatever you said, I would play the same team. Sehwag comes in instead of who played that game, Raina. Because, you more or less want a team that has played together over the last, say, 2.5 weeks. Raina has not had much opportunity, so you don't know, his exact form. He got one opportunity, was a little unlucky there with that catch being taken, batting low down the order with about 5 overs to go. But otherwise, I would play pretty much the same team. Definitely Ashwin in, because he bowled beautifully.
Ashwin has scored points, hasn't he? Ravi, earlier when we spoke, you said that India would rather play Australia than Sri Lanka. Do you think this is the best time that Australia is most vulnerable and India has the best chance to defeat them?
Absolutely. See, because when you look at this Australian side, that aura they had around them doesn't exist. People aren't scared of an Australian side. They're not intimidated by no Australian there in that side. And especially this Indian team now, they've been together. They've got experience. They've played some damn good cricket over the last 12 months. And, it's one team that has got under the skin of the Australians. If there's one team in world cricket that started it, it was India. And then England played very well against them in the Ashes, in the last couple of Ashes, and that's made a difference. And it's given not just India or England, it's given all the other teams, around the world, that feeling that they can beat Australia. This Australian side is not invincible. They're just human beings, and on a given day you play better than them, you can beat them.
Okay, we have a first caller on the show, and this is your namesake calling in from the capital. Hi Ravi, good evening. What's your question for Ravi Shastri?
My question to Ravi Shastri is, hello Ravi, number one, a team Australia versus India winning the toss. If your batting is very strong, it hardly makes whether you win the toss or lose the toss, because what I feel, India's weakest link is fielding and pathetic bowling. India lost the match against South Africa due to bowling, and India nearly lost it against England due to bowling. Fielding and bowling, it is very pathetic. How can you expect a team to win? For example, Tendulkar, how many runs?
Okay, Ravi, so it's about the toss being crucial. Your thoughts on that?
See, listen, if you win the toss against Australia, you bat first. In good batting conditions, you bat first. Don't think too far ahead. Get the runs on the board and then try and squeeze them and put pressure on the Australian batsmen. And India's strength is batting. They'll go out without any pressure on themselves. If they win the toss and bat first, it'll be hot. So the batting conditions will be pretty good. The surface will be pretty good, and make the most of it. Get a big score in a knockout match like this. You get your 280s, 275s, 280s, and no matter which team you're playing against, you can put pressure on them.
Our next caller is from Ahmedabad. This is Hardik calling in. Hardik, your question to Ravi Shastri, especially the quarterfinal is going to be played there.
Yes, my question is, should India change their batting order or not? The main question, because we have already
I don't think they should change their...
We have already been seeing that in previous games, India's lower order is already been dismissing. In 30 or 40 runs, we are losing the 6 or 7 wickets. So should India change their batting order or not? Should Dhoni come on number 3 or number 4?
No. The batting order should remain the same. The top 3 at the top. That's Sehwag, Tendulkar, Gautam Gambhir, and then Yuvraj at number 4. And then you take it from there. If you get off to a good start, then UV comes in at 4. If you're suddenly, say, 10 for 3, then you might want to keep UV1 back in spite of, the brilliant 100 he got. You have to play horses for courses, because that number 4 slot, once you're through, 15 overs or 17 overs where you've not lost more than a couple of wickets, then you don't need to change it. UV at 4, and then you take it from there. But if you lose early wickets, like I said, 3 down in the first 15 overs, then there's a case of Virat Kohli batting at 4.
Ravi, this matchup will also see some individual key battles. Sachin Tendulkar up against Brett Lee. He's been most successful for Australia, and obviously he would be keen to get Sachin's prized wicket.
And he's bowling better than any other fast bowler in this tournament. Steyn has bowled well, but with the new ball, I think Brett Lee is bowling quite beautifully at the moment. He's fast, he's getting movement away from the batsman, and when you can do that at 145, 148 clicks, it doesn't matter who the batsman is in the opposition, you can get him to nick it. So that should be a fascinating contest. Brett Lee against Tendulkar and Sehwag really will be a mouth-watering contest, that, especially if Lee is getting some movement.
All right, we have another caller. This is Samar calling in from Lucknow. Hi, Samar. Good evening. What is your question to Ravi Shastri?
Good evening, Ravi. My question is, we have Sreesanth sitting in the rank for the last 5 to 6 matches. Now we have only 2 good bowlers like Zaheer Khan and Harbhajan. So why we are not taking chances with Sreesanth? Because any which ways, Dhoni is not using Munaf that much. And we have, a very, very weak bowling lineup as is now. So why we are not taking Sreesanth? He's a very aggressive bowler. I mean, he can turn a match like anything.
See, I think the team has decided more or less what combination they want for the quarterfinals. Munaf has been consistent. He might have had one odd match in this tournament. I'm not for Munaf and Ashish Nehra playing in the same 11. But if one has to play, and if Munaf is playing, fair enough. Because Sreesanth, if you look at it, he's not had much practice now. If Sreesanth had to play, he had to play at the league stage. Now you've come to the serious end of the tournament, the business end of the tournament. It's a knockout. So play the guys who have been playing, in the unit. And Munaf Patel, I thought, bowled very well in the last game. He ran in well. He might have not got wickets to show for, but the rhythm was good. He hit the deck. He's a steady bowler. And don't forget, you're playing in Gujarat, man. Patel ko kahan drop karenge aap Ahmedabad mein? Pagal ho gaye ho?
All right, so perhaps Munaf Patel cannot be dropped because of the quarterfinal will be in Motera. But coming back to the key battles, Ravi, now Virendra Sehwag is a batsman that the opposition say they can never plan against. Do you think Sean Tate will have that delivery to get Sehwag out in this quarterfinal? How do you see their matchup?
Well, the planning will be pretty straightforward. They'll look to tuck up Sehwag. Yet at the same time, Brett Lee will look for movement away from the right-hander where he can get him to nick, or if he slashes hard, third man becomes a very important position where you place that fielder. You need a tall fielder there who is athletic, because Sehwag will take a chance, and there's every chance the ball going up in that direction. Sean Tate is a different bowler from Lee. Sean Tate is more open-chested. He'd like to attack the rib cage of Sehwag and tuck him up so that he's not allowed to free his arms. They're two different bowlers. Lee is fast with outswing. Sean Tate, on the other hand, will hit the deck short of a length and make sure that the lines are middle and leg. That's once he bowls short.
But we'll be hoping that they're ineffective against Sachin and Virendra Sehwag. We have another caller calling in from Guwahati. This is Sham. Hi, Sham. What's your question to Ravi?
Hello.
Yes, Sham.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Sham. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Sham from Guwahati.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I just want to ask one question. What do you think is the most important factor that Dhoni should take to beat Australia?
I think just self-belief, that they're a confident side. They're not intimidated by Australia one bit. The body language has to be good and solid on that day of the quarterfinal. And then if you get off to a good start, take it from there. Don't try and plan too far ahead. You've got to take it 1 hour at a time. If you're fielding first, see how that 1 hour goes and react accordingly.
Ravi, have you seen the difference in the body language and confidence of team after Nagpur to now at Chennai in West Indies? There has been a massive change. Have you seen that?
No, it's been a good change. Yesterday I thought Dhoni was superb. Dhoni was magnificent tactically because, a lot of people thought at 140, 150 for 2, West Indies will run away with the game. But he was smart enough, he was brave enough to give Ashwin all the bowling in power play. And then he had realized on that surface, which was of an abrasive nature, and seeing that square being on the rougher side, he realized that the ball will get old, it'll get scruffed up, and the fast bowlers will get some reverse swing. And he planned it beautifully, because if you look at the first 15 overs, there were hardly any overs from Munaf. In fact, no overs from Munaf, and just a couple of overs from Zahir. So he got it tactically absolutely right. Top class stuff.
Now, Aussie skipper Punter is under immense pressure. He needs to perform well as well. And, perhaps this is one thing that Bhaji will be looking to exploit. How do you see Ricky Ponting matching up against Harbhajan Singh? That's going to be an exciting battle.
That's always an exciting battle, and Bhaji will be up for it. He will remind Ponting of the kind of form he's in. Ponting, on the other hand, a great competitor. He will try and, he'll tell, himself that, listen, I'll try and cast my mind back to the 2003 final and, just remind myself that's what I did against India. And let me get off to a good start. Yes, I've not been in the best of form, but let me take my time, be a little selective early on, and who knows, a couple hits the middle of the bat and, you might just feel in great touch. But make no mistake, Bhaji will remind him about everything of the past and what he thinks about the present.
And Bhaji himself loves the fact that he's so popular in Australian team and the Australian media.